All right, guys, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Pat Bryant, the newest wide receiver on the Denver Broncos. But before we get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You can always wait until the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. And yeah, I've been very overwhelmed with all the support I've gotten recently. Thank you to all the new subscribers that have come along during this draft season. And yeah, we're going to go nowhere but up from here. So if you want to be a part of it, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you very much for your support once again. So, of course, this happened. Of course, Sean Payton, a native of Naperville, Illinois, could not contain himself when it came to the fact that a viable NFL draft prospect was available for the taking. And now Pat Bryant joins his teammate from Illinois, Alex Palczewski, as the newest wide receiver of the Denver Broncos. So, just giving a little overview of how Pat Bryant was perceived as a recruit coming into the college football landscape. Three-star recruit from Atlantic Coast High School in Jacksonville, Florida, 142nd wide receiver in the 2021 recruiting class, and he was actually a team captain in 2024, and he had a true breakout season with 984 yards and 10 touchdowns as well. And I honestly, you know what, it just makes way too much sense. Like, after seeing the skill set of Pat Bryant, after seeing, the traits that NFL teams were to take him for in the NFL draft, it just makes sense that Sean Payton got his guy. Like, looking at RJ Harvey, I was like, yeah, that just makes too much sense. And this is just another fit like a glove sort of situation here. And, I didn't love the pick. I didn't love the value where we got him. I didn't love the Barron pick either. But you know what? I fully trust this front office. I fully trust this vision that they have going forward, because clearly they would have drafted these guys. Or they wouldn't have drafted these guys highly above consensus if they didn't have a vision for them. But yeah, so with that being said, time to watch some highlights of Pat Bryant, and you'll see why teams are so excited about him. Yeah, overall, let's just watch some Pat Bryant highlights right here. So, one thing that sticks out to him is he is a great rack threat. Like, he is just an absolutely great physical, big-bodied receiver. You're going to see him in the red zone, works across the screen, catches the touchdown easily right here as well. And yeah, overall, I can tell why everybody fell in love with this game. I can tell why the Denver Broncos felt like they were going to use a third-round pick on him, despite the fact that he was literally not being talked about as a draftable prospect until like the 5th or 6th. But you know what? In Sean Payton and George Paton, I trust, and we trust as well. Like, just look at him. High point the ball right here. Just physical as they come. And the Purdue DB was like, DPI? And I was like, nope. And once again, really, really nice job getting the ball down as a deep threat right there. So he can do it all. He can really do it all. There's not a single weakness in his game, going into the Maryland end zone right there. And yeah, overall, he actually had a 100% success rate on comebacks as well. This was just absolutely filthy. Like, look at that. Look at that. So he's like, maybe he needs to improve some of his separation tactics, but over the middle of the field, I feel like he's a pretty good separator and better than people give him credit for. Like, watch him get some rack right there. Watch him get some rack. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always looks to go forward with the ball in his hands. So, yeah, I get it. I get why they did this. Like, watch him over the middle of the field. So, yeah, Pat Bryant, a lot of people are going to be really, really excited about him in the orange and blue. And you know what? I can't disagree with him, even though I don't love the spot where they got him. So here's the college production from Pat Bryant. I think Illinois was actually really, really good last year. I remember they were ranked, and I don't remember if they made a bowl game or not, but yeah. So last year he had a true breakout season, and one thing that sticks out to me is 19 touchdowns throughout his college football career. Enough of these wide receivers who can't find their way into the end zone, because ultimately, touchdowns, that's how you score points, and I just want a guy who can, be physical around the red zone in the event that we do move on from Courtland Sutton. Even if Pat Bryant doesn't necessarily have Courtland Sutton's size, we do need a long-term succession plan at the X receiver, and maybe that's what we're getting with Pat Bryant. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see him on the field before we make that assumption. But yeah, so over his career at Illinois, he kind of had like a, work your way into the college football system sort of thing his freshman year in 2021. Then he's got onto the field more in 2022, 453 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2023, 43 receptions, 560 yards, and 7 touchdowns as well. And in 2024, that's when he really had his breakout season. I think he was second team All Big Ten this past year as well. So 54 receptions, 984 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So just looking at Pat Bryant, he also had 5 rush attempts. Wow. But yeah, looking at Pat Bryant's play style, this is basically if you put Lil Jordan Humphrey, Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton, and Tim Patrick into a giant blender. And one thing that makes me really encouraged is that you might be like, "Bleh," when you hear Lil Jordan Humphrey in that situation, but hear me out. Without the gaffes, Lil Jordan Humphrey was a pretty solid and pretty respectable player for this team. Like, I did not like him as a player. I really, really did not want us to bring him back. Like, I would have been really upset if the Broncos actually brought him back. But I highly respected his role, especially because, he was brought in as like a, we'll see sort of thing. And he actually made a pretty decent impact for the Broncos, but the gaffes were just too monumental. I absolutely hated watching him play. But with Pat Bryant, you're basically getting that, but you're not getting any of the, drop balls or tip balls into the air sort of thing. You're not getting the fumbles on the first drive of the game. And Matt Harmon at reception perception compared him most to, one of our favorites, Tim Patrick. And if you're getting a 22-year-old Tim Patrick at or in the third round, that is a pretty solid pick in my opinion. And he absolutely punishes guys as a blocking wide receiver, so you already knew that Sean Payton would really, really like him. And Pat Bryant also has an awesome amount of rack ability. He has great hands and physical. Does a great job of using his frame to the best of his ability. He actually caught 69% of his contested catches, and for reference, Teteroa McMillan was at 60% as well. So this was posted by Durst on NFL Draft Twitter as well. 4th in yards per out run versus zone, 5th in yards per out run versus man. So he was good at both. He was good at attacking both as a prospect. 4th with 10.68 air yards per reception, 51.3% contested catch rate, round 4. Comp, as far as the pros right now, is Dontavian Wicks. He was a downfield threat in college, but with similar concerns, with his speed and with his 40-yard dash that contributed to Wicks' slide. Honestly, I'm not concerned about the 40. I think he plays way faster than the 4.61 40-yard dash would indicate. Like, there's just a bunch of clips of him just, being a burner as well, and, being able to win as a deep threat, but also, take house calling, catch that doesn't look very dangerous as well. So this is posted by Zach Seegers, owner of Let's Talk Broncos. Thank you, Zach, once again for letting me go on Engage 8 this past Tuesday. First band show in Let's Talk Broncos history. But here are some stats about Pat Bryant. So Zach Seegers begins by saying, wasn't a big fan of Denver taking Pat Bryant at 74. I completely agree. But Pat Bryant ranked 10th last season in contested catch rate, 69.2. Ted is at 60%. Jaden Higgins, that is at 58.3%. 2, he finished 23rd in yards after catch per reception despite speed limitations, and only Kyle Williams and Trey Harris performed better amongst wide receivers who had been drafted at that point. 5th best passer rating when targeted for 1.8%. Drop rate was 8th lowest. Only Jack Besh was more reliable among drafted wide receivers. 5, he ranked 38th in missed tackles, but forced amongst receivers, which isn't too remarkable, but that's just also one less than Jeremiah Smith had as well. So why was Pat Bryant the pick? Well, a bigger wide receiver who can block well with good hands, that's a Sean Payton fetish, if I've ever seen one. And, they see something in his game that they really like that blends into the Sean Payton offense. And you know what? I get the vision. Even though he would not have been my pick at 74 or whatever they got him, I don't have any room to argue with what Sean Payton and George Paton have done with this team over the past few years. But the Senior Bowl exposed a lot of people to his game. He stood out at the Senior Bowl, and a lot of teams really got the chance to talk to him. And he had a really funny interview about his touchdown versus Rutgers. Highly recommend you guys check that out. He talked about his game-winning touchdown against them, and it was pretty funny. But the Broncos, what do? They took 3 captains in the top 3 rounds, and they just want to keep their strong locker room. Long gone are the days where we're drafting guys like Carlos Henderson and Brendan Langley in the 3rd round as well. So yes, they want to keep their strong locker room, and I guess that was kind of indicated by the fact that they took 3 captains in the top 3 rounds as well. And then they drafted Savion Jones and Quandarius Robinson in the 4th. So yeah, my reservations about this pick. So I literally saw nothing about this dude as a draftable prospect until like the 6th round. I think during the draft process, I think we can all sort of get mock brain, and if a guy's like, mocked in a certain range or something like that, then we have a tendency to, fixate on that or something like that. But, I get it. I get why they did this. And, I don't think the Lil Jordan Humphrey role is worth using a 3rd on, even if you're getting a potentially upgraded player in theory, but I just wish we traded back. I just wish we traded back to accumulate more picks because I really don't like the running back depth right now. I still don't like the tight end depth right now, so I would have gone elsewhere with this pick. I probably would have, looked to trade back to like the later third and probably seen if he was still available there. But you know what? If he's your guy, get your guy, whatever. Because I trust Sean Payton and George Paton wholeheartedly after what they've done the past 2 years. The turnaround we've had has been remarkable. And personnel-wise, I mean, there's a lot of things that they've done that I didn't agree with at the time that, has ended up being really good. And, Barron as a pick in the first round, as our pick in the first round, is something I fundamentally do not agree with still. But Pat Bryant in the 74th slot, I don't agree with it yet, at least, but I'm pretty sure I will once I see the vision come to fruition. So, yeah. All right, guys, that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Mile high salute.